Hey, Blazer Tales. Oh, have I got such a good one for you today. If you are a Disney lover like I am, I don't know if you can tell by my Beauty and the Beast stuff up here. I have all kind of Disney stuff behind me. This is Kingdom Keepers Disney After Dark. This book is so amazing, especially if you love Disney. You have got to read this book. This is book one of the series. There's like seven or eight in the original series, and then there's a second series that has called it's The Inheritance, and it has three or four in it. These books are incredible. You're going to meet five characters who all work together. This is not a book talk. This is the first chapter Friday. So go to the book talk link below if you want to hear the book talk. But what I'm going to do a little different. Usually when I do my first chapter Friday readings, is I put a picture up of the cover of the book and the author. This time I want to have my PowerPoint, my novel study PowerPoint that I made. So as I read, you can see all the stuff that I have in the PowerPoint link to the book. It is so cool. And I forgot to mention, I got my Maleficent ears on because she's a big part of this book. And I've got my One of the Kingdom Keepers shirts on. These are from Megan's Mini Shop. Amazing Disney shop if you want shirts or ears, especially ears. She does some of the most amazing custom ears. I'll put her links in the description below. If you're going to read this to your students or whatever, you have got to have this. This is so cool. So let me share my screen real quick so that you can see my PowerPoint. And like I said, I'm going to go through. Let me do slideshow. Continue to share. Okay, so let me get to we're just going to start with chapter one. Okay, so chapter one, we start off right away going to the first picture. He found himself standing next to the flagpole in town square, in the heart of the Magic Kingdom, in his pajamas. How had he gotten here? He had no idea. His last memory was climbing into bed. It felt like only minutes earlier. Gripped by a sense of panic, awed by the sight of Cinderella's castle at night, Finn Whitman briefly recalled that he'd had other similar dreams recently. Always in the Magic Kingdom, always at night. But in his 13th year, none were so real, so vivid as this. He felt a breeze on his face. He smelled the wet earth of a flower bed not far away. He heard the distant whine of traffic and the buzz of a motorboat on the lake behind him. It looked so different, he thought, only to realize he'd spoken out loud. Main Street stood empty, not a person in sight. He glanced around and quickly saw that he was all alone. Not so different at all. Not so different as that at all, came a man's voice. Though faint, it startled Finn. He looked around again, this time trying to find the source of the voice. There! An old guy with white hair on a bench in front of the town square theater. Finn moved toward the man crossing the empty street. He felt unusually light, almost buoyant. The man wore khakis, a collared shirt, and a name tag, Wayne. Where is everybody? Finn asked, struck by the electronic sound of his voice, of his own voice. Is it empty? The man asked, looking up anxiously. Tell me what you see. Finn wondered if the old guy was blind. He seemed to be looking right at Finn. His blue eyes looked perfectly normal. Still, maybe he couldn't see. Well, Finn said politely, it's like empty, and it's dark out, and it's just the two of us. Wayne's expression changed to disappointment. What am I supposed to see exactly? Finn asked. You're only supposed to see what you can see. Whatever that means, Finn said. It means exactly what it says. If you say so. Listen, young man, I've been around here since long before any of them were even created. I live in the apartment above the fire station. He pointed right at the firehouse and then looked back at Finn. That takes some seniority, believe me. Seniority or senile? Finn wondered. Living above a firehouse? Finn doubted it. Nice pajamas, the old man said. Finn looked at himself. His pajamas seemed to be glowing. What was that? What was with that? He said. I don't mean to be rude, but if you can see, if you're not blind, then why did you ask me about the park being empty? Wayne's ice blue eyes drilled into him. How do you think you got here, young man? That depends on where I am, Finn answered honestly. This felt like no dream he had ever experienced. Very good answer. I expected no less of you. Excuse me? I assumed that you'd question this. That's only natural, but ultimately, there's only one explanation, isn't there? Is there? Finn asked, confused. The other ones I wasn't quite so sure about, but you, Finn Whitman? By the way, that's a fine name you have, a name with real potential. Finn took a step back. How did this old guy know his name? What other ones? Finn asked. He studied Town Square and Main Street. The street lamps shone with yellow. Cinderella's castle glowed in the distance. All the familiar streets and paths and attraction, but empty. I told you there's no one here. No one but us. It's empty. Wayne said nothing as he stood up and walked up Main Street, past the shops, and toward the castle. Finn found himself following right along. They reached Central Plaza, an island in the center of the traffic circle, the spokes of which led to the Magic Kingdom's various lands: Tomorrowland, Frontierland, Liberty Square. They stopped in front of the statue of Walt Disney with Mickey. The castle rose majestically in the night sky. What time is it? Wayne asked. As Finn brought his arm up to look at his watch, he saw that his arm wasn't exactly his arm. It was glowing. Not only glowing, but he could almost see through it, as if... What's going on? Finn asked. What's up with my arm? Wayne sounded critical as he said, Figure it out. Then he reached into his pocket and removed what looked like a remote control for a car. A small black plastic fob with a single red button. It looked like a garage door opener. What's with that thing? Finn asked. This button will send you back. Back where? Finn felt a jolt of fear. What if this wasn't a dream? He studied his arm again, then his other arm. He looked down at his legs. His whole body was glowing and vaguely translucent. Back to bed, answered Wayne. So it is a dream? I thought so. It's not a dream. Finn saw a pair of 4-foot-tall chipmunks come out of the castle. They walked down the path and turned left toward New Fantasyland. He felt himself staring. He recognized them. What? Finn asked excitedly. Nothing, Finn answered. You saw something. He practically shouted in Finn's ear, causing Finn to jump back startled. Wayne leaped up, suddenly years younger. He pulled Finn to his feet. You saw something, he thundered. Hey, what's the big deal? Tell me what you saw. You saw it too, Finn told him. Which characters? Finn felt relief. Wayne knew Finn had seen a character, which had to mean he'd seen it too. He was clearly playing some kind of game, making Finn actually name the character, but Finn was good at games. Which characters did you see? Finn asked. You want me to push this button? Wayne threatened. Did he? Finn wasn't sure. If it was a dream, the black remote control fob represented a way out. When was the right time to use it? He hoped to stretch this out a minute longer. It was fun here. He glanced around at the sound of footsteps. Goofy went tearing past them, not 30 feet away. He headed into Liberty Square. Wayne never moved, never looked in Goofy's direction. You're playing head games with me, Finn said. Am I? Goofy, Finn said. Are you asking me if I'm goofy? I've been called a lot worse, Wayne studied Finn. His old leathery face brightened as he said, You saw Goofy? Maybe Wayne needed a hearing aid. He seemed prone to fits of shouting. Finn backed off. Yeah, so what? You would have too if you'd bothered to look. Wayne probably couldn't hear all that well. He obviously hadn't heard Goofy's footsteps because he hadn't turned toward the sound. Finn decided to test Wayne. Chip and Dale, he said. You saw them, right? You saw Chip and Dale? He made it sound like Finn had won the lottery. What was with that? This is getting a little weird. I think I want to go back now. Finn heard himself repeat some of what Wayne had told him, though the words didn't fit in his mouth all that well. It sounded to him like someone else was doing the talking. I'll push the button if you like, but if I have to warn you, but I have to warn you, Wayne fiddled with the name tag pinned to his uniform. Warn me about what? You'll be missing the park after dark, having it all to yourself. One would think the attractions do not operate at night. Not necessarily so. Now I know I'm dreaming. But are you? Wayne explained. Are you forgetting your arm? Finn studied his arm once more. I'll admit that is interesting. It's almost like Finn caught himself. Like you're glowing, Wayne said in an all-knowing, I told you so tone of voice. Am I? What might account for that? Wayne inquired. Finn understood somehow that a lot hung on his answer. His imagining this place, or dreaming it, or whatever was happening to him, his ability to stay here, to return. He wasn't quick to answer. He didn't want to face what Wayne was suggesting. I give up, he said. No, you don't, Wayne protested. You never would have been chosen for this if you were the kind who gives up on things. You're a finisher, Finn. That's what I like about you from the first audition tape. Stunned by what the old guy had just said, Finn felt his mouth go dry. How did Wayne know about his audition tape? Exactly how complicated could a dream get? Who are you? Finn blurted out. I'm Wayne. I work here. I was one of the first people hired by Walt Disney to imagine this park. The rides, the attractions. They call us Imagineers. You knew Walt Disney? Finn tried not to sound impressed. He was my boss, you might say. At any rate, he's the reason I'm here. The reason you're here. Me? I know this can't be easy. It's a dream, Finn said, thinking. What's so hard about a dream? No, it's not a dream, Wayne said. Take a look at the moon. Finn didn't move. Wayne's voice became more severe. I said, look at the moon. Finn had to turn around to locate the moon. A half moon, like a crooked smile, hung well above the horizon. When you wake up, when you think you wake up, take a look out the window. You'll see the same moon and you'll know. Know what? Finn asked. That we were here, sitting here in Disney World with an old guy named Wayne. You're telling me this isn't a dream? Finn felt his words catch in his throat. We've got a problem, a big problem. A problem that affects not only the park, but the world outside the park. We call them the Overtakers. The what? Finn didn't sound like the sound of that. Wayne said urgently, you need to contact the other host, all four. Arrange to meet them here at the same time. That will mean all of you going to bed, going to sleep fairly close to the same time, within a half an hour of one another. Tell them that. That should work, I think. What are you talking about? There's a fable, a story, a puzzle of sorts that was left in case of a problem like this. It's called the Stonecutter's Quill. A problem like what? Finn felt totally confused. The Stonecutter's Quill. The title had an eerie sound. Just then, Tom Sawyer came out of Liberty Square and headed up a long ramp into the castle. Is that really the Tom Sawyer? Finn wondered. The barefoot boy was smoking a pipe with a long stem. Wayne did a good job of not reacting, of pretending he didn't see the kid. Wayne said, the puzzle has to be solved to be understood. It has to be understood to be of any use to us. He paused and looked over at Finn. It felt to Finn as if Wayne were looking right through him. You're going to solve it. Me? The five of you, Wayne said. Finn jumped away from the man. Again he thought, how complicated can a dream get? If Wayne was the only part of the dream, how could he possibly know about the four other hosts? How could he talk about Finn's audition tape the way he had? It was all related, all rolled into one, but Finn couldn't sort it out. Finn said, you're talking about the Disney Hollywood studio? Of course I am, Wayne said. You see, I knew you were the right one. You're the leader, Finn. I don't have the slightest clue what you're talking about, Finn said. Nice try, but of course you do. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You just don't want to face it. Perfectly understandable. That will change. A fable? Finn said, testing him again. Could a dream remember itself? The moon, Wayne reminded him. Don't forget the moon. I won't. All five of you. I need all of you together, here, all in the same place at the same time. I can explain it to you then, once, as a group. Just this one time, you can decide as a group to help us or not. Us, Finn said. I'll explain all of that later. This is the weirdest dream I've ever had, Finn said, not realizing he was shouting. You'll get over it, Wayne said. He raised his right hand, the one carrying the black remote control fob, and pressed the button with his thumb. Finn awoke sitting up in bed. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I had to close my door real quick. Um, Let's see. Finn awoke sitting up in bed. His bedside clock read 2:07. He collected himself, checked his surroundings. He reached out and touched the glass water next to his clock, just to feel it was reassuring. Thank goodness, he thought. A dream, he wondered. Whoa, he heard himself say out loud. What a dream. This time his voice sounded more the way it always sounded, which reminded him of how thin and electronic it had sounded in the park. Whoa, he repeated to himself again. He scratched an itch on his head and another one on his belly. That felt better. He lay back down, his head on the pillow, his green eyes wide open in the dark. All at once, Finn spotted a shaft of light, bluish light on his ceiling. It was the shape of a knife blade. Moonlight. Finn slipped out of bed with trepidation. He crept toward the window, afraid to look. The closer he got to it, the more his face was bathed in that pale light seeping through the small crack in the curtains. Finn raised his arm and caught sight of his watch. His arm appeared solid. It did not glow and shimmer the way it had while he was with Wayne. That came as a relief. Finn parted the curtains. There, out the window, hanging in the exact same place in the sky where Wayne had pointed it out to him, Finn saw the curving smile of a half moon. Could he have known that in his sleep? How? He looked again. The moon seemed to be laughing at him. Oh my goodness, guys, this is such a good book. Let me stop sharing real quick. So, this book is absolutely amazing. Do not miss it. Get the PowerPoint. I have coloring sheets to go with this. But this book is incredible. And if you're a Disney lover, you got to read it. I'll see you in the next book talk in the next first chapter Friday read, guys. Bye bye.